Okay, so we're here at the Redbrick Building in Building C, where we've come to see Robin, who is the brains behind the operation down here. Robin, how do you do? Pleased to meet you.
Hello, Gabriel.
Thank you. So today you're going to tell us what's going on here, what we're doing, and basically tell us what we don't know. So over to you. What is Building C? Where are we with it? What are you doing with it? Etc, etc, etc.
Well, Building C is part of the whole Redbrick project. The whole Redbrick project consisted originally of buildings A, B and C, which were the old Moorlands tannery, which had been abandoned for years. And in 2011, the South West of England Regional Development Agency, responsible for spending quite a lot of your money, was going to pull it down. Well, they were going to pull it down earlier, but they agreed that if the Redbrick Community Project could put up a decent case and make the building watertight and safe by March the 31st, 2011 or something, they'd sell it to them for £1. And that was the point at which I turned up and volunteered, and we got the building. Now the plan was that buildings A and B would be done up basically as a commercial proposition, and they would earn the rent, which will enable us to do the things in Building C, which was the bigger part, but much the most dilapidated one, which was for the youth and making and opportunities at apprenticeships and mentoring and teaching and learning and life skills and all that. However, what happened, as often happens, is that A and B took longer than we hoped they would, cost more than we thought they would, and then didn't generate as much money as we hoped they would. And the result was that Building C has sat here for the last 7 or 8 years as a great albatross round everybody's neck, whilst we have utterly failed to be able to get the money to do it up. So, a small group of us have got together, and we are very slowly, very gently, and very carefully going to repair and renovate and make Building C work. But the only way we can do it at all, is to do it very slowly and only fix the bits that are broken. Okay. If we start doing major renovations, we're into millions of quid we haven't got. So that's where we are. So phase one with a 50 grand fairy godmother foundation is to get the first 2 bays of the building working. And the idea is that this quarter in here, this bit, will be an open access workshop with resources in it, with kit in it, which I can beg, borrow or steal. And this side, we're going to make the space available for the youth club, but it won't be ready for the youth club to move in because of that kind of money. But we will, with a bit of luck, fix the roof, we'll make it safe, and we'll get the workshop working. And with a bit of luck, we'll open some loos for the community around here to be able to use, which will be a massive benefit to everybody round here, and those, of course, those who use the garden as well.
So the youth currently meet in Building A, don't they?
Yes,
so they're going to
do.
move into here.
They will move into here eventually.
Okay.
One of the things which has been a massive injection or possible injection of change is the Towns Fund, the Glastonbury Towns Fund, which has offered us the opportunity to bid for a quick win project. In other words, and COVID related, which will give us the chance to spend £250,000, but we've got to do it very quickly and deliver it by March next year.
Okay.
But we don't know yet whether we've got that funding, but that would make a massive difference.
Should we go in and have a look round?
Let's go in and have a look. Here is the space which is going to be for the youth club. Now what's happened so far is that we have taken out the areas of floor that definitely will fall down. Over there are some areas of floor which will probably fall down, so we will be taking those out. And over here are areas of floor which probably won't fall down, but aren't good enough at the moment to be able to work on upstairs. So phase one really only deals with the ground floor.
Okay.
But you've got some major interesting little problems, like I don't know whether you can see, up there, that beam there has split and is falling off and is now only held there at all by the rainwater pipe, which collects the rainwater and takes it out and puts it into a huge sump outside, which was then used by the tannery, which uses lots of water in the tanning process. But you can see that the roof up there has completely gone, so there's a hell of a lot of work to do. I mean, it's a process that has been going on for a long time now. I mean, half the bits and pieces of patching up in this building I originally did nearly a decade ago. And actually they've rotted since then. Just assume that where I take you is
safe to go.
Relatively safe. Mostly you walk in right angles as opposed to diagonals.
Yes.
The weakest bits are on all the diagonals. Now here it's not too bad, because apart from the fact that the kids nicked the ridge tiles years ago because you could sell them to the reclamation companies, this isn't too bad, because basically this pitch of roof hasn't leaked. But there, it's gone very badly. So our first job, I don't know whether you can see this or not, but if you look at this steel gutter across here, yesterday that was 8 inches dropped. We've been jacking that up all day with jacks and acros. We've done that one, and that one's now concreted in, but the acros are still there. If you look down the far end, you can see another one that slipped quite badly,
yes,
and is pointing downhill. Now this one until yesterday. So now we've got the entire roof is now suspended on these acros, so that is now
loose.
waving about. Because what we've done is to jack this up, the whole roof, so that we've pulled that back up to where it should be, and we'll now put concrete in here, which will fill that back up to there, and any small adjustments that we need to make, we can then do by packing just the gutter bit up here. What acros are meant for is to stop things falling down. You wouldn't usually use acros
to lift things up.
So what we've done here is to invent a tool, which is this here, which is an acro with a 5-ton lorry jack strapped to the bottom. What we're doing is that we put that in a crucial position, use that to jack up the roof, and then wind these up to stop it slipping back again. Because we wouldn't be strong enough to be able to do those just on our own.
No.
But using the lorry jack, we can pump up the whole roof on that an inch at a time, and then tighten these up underneath to stop it coming down again. And it's taken us all day to get this up roughly 7 inches. If you do this kind of renovation from an office, you do it all by destroying things and replacing them completely. If you do it on the job, all you do is mend the bits that are broken. And 85% of the building is fine. So it will never have it, 85% of it can stay here. You only mend the bits you need to do. This is really the crucial first stage. It's what will happen now is we'll get that concrete in tomorrow. We'll check these two to make sure that these are the same, that these are okay. And as long as the slopes are right there, that's okay. We can leave those and that one. Then we can do this floor section. And when we've done this floor section, we can start to repair the roof. But then it is 100 and something years old.
Is it? Do you know when this was built?
We think early 1900s.
Early 1900s.
I think it was sort of 1912-ish.
And at its height, there was what, 2,000 people working here?
Oh, for the whole thing. Yeah, there were 2,000 people on the site. In fact, as you know, I mean, in the old days, traditionally, everybody who lived in Glastonbury worked for Moorlands, and everybody who lived in Street worked for Clark.
That's right, yeah.
And that was how in the 70s, Clark's basically got it fundamentally right commercially by realising that the way to make money was to export all your manufacturing and just market, which meant that they exported all the manufacturing. 2,000 people lost their jobs in Street, and you got a shopping centre.
Yeah.
Moorlands got it spectacularly wrong by opening trendy sheepskin shops in London, New York, Hong Kong and Paris at precisely the time at which sheepskin coats were going out of fashion and went bust.
Yeah.
So another 2,000 people. So we were decimated during that period in terms of employment. And in many ways, the community around here has never really recovered from that.
And there's still a Clark involved in this now, isn't there?
Oh, there certainly is, yes.
Yeah.
Tom has been a massive support.
He's been around from day one almost, hasn't he?
He has, yes. And one of the great things about Tom, and one of the reasons that I think he's helping us, is that we're prepared to get stuck in and do
Get your hands
which
dirty.
is one of the reasons we built the bridge.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we built this extremely silly footpath in the sky is simply to demonstrate to potential fairy godmothers that we can deliver stuff. Now in here, some of this floor may not get replaced at all. So in other words, we'll probably have to take that lot out. But because the youth area, where they're looking at the idea of having climbing walls and things like that, it may well be that there will be sections of it that never go back, so we'll have
Almost like a mezzanine.
full height. Yeah. Nick, the incredible engineer, reckons we can fix all these things. I mean, what he does, he tells me what we can save and how it can be saved, and I work out how to do it. You can see up there the original lath and plaster ceiling there. Now, once we get it warm and dry, which is going to be the biggest shock the building's had for 50 years, I wouldn't be at all surprised to find bits of ceiling falling off. So one of the things that we're going to have to do is to stabilise those whole ceiling areas. That will be half covered in and half glass, pretty much the same as it is at the moment. In other words, a traditional zigzag building.
Yeah.
All the zigzag buildings in the country were oriented north-south.
To the sun, yes. I didn't know that.
North-south.
Okay.
So that you get light in without the direct sun. So you'll find that every factory in the country that is this zigzag pattern, where the reason you need to get light in is that very often your working machines or sewing machines or whatever, you need that light and you need the north light to be able to see what you're doing, and it's the light that artists favour.
Yeah.
And apparently, because they are always oriented north-south, during the war, if aircraft coming home got lost, they may not know where they were.
VFR.
But find one of these factories, they knew where north was, so they knew which direction. One of the great discoveries here is the loos. The loos turn out to be absolutely classic beginning of the 20th century stuff.
Oh, glazed bricks.
Glazed bricks, which you couldn't buy those now.
No.
And somebody obviously thought that painting them a tasteful shade of blue is a smart thing to do. So in fact, everything will stay here. So the coat hooks will stay, and the loo roll holders will stay, and that will stay, whatever it is. And these ashtrays.
Look at that.
I'm not sure whether that was, it must have been an ashtray, I think. Unless it was a disinfectant holder, I don't know. But it'll stay because it's here. I feel very, very, very strongly that what I want to see happen in the whole building is that it should be opportunities and making and mentoring and startups and life skills and training and all those things that the young need and are so desperately short of here. And it will be about making things. So it won't be a cultural arts centre, it won't be a performance centre, it won't be an art gallery, it won't be a gig centre or whatever it is. They can happen next door. But what this is about is a making thing.